I know. Well, then you should try to get up so that's easier for me. Okay, so first, did everybody have a good Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Santa bring you nice things? No, not really?
Yes.
Nothing? Santa.
6 kids.
6 kids. Suck the life out of you.
Come on.
Santa brought you 6 kids a while ago. That's what happened.
Santa brought my son a new bike, so he's like he's 5, so he's been living on that thing. So
I think Christmas is fun. When you become a parent, Christmas is the funnest when you have children and watching their eyes light up.
Yes.
And like
Grandparents are funner.
I think it was last year where I was like getting grouchy about something because it was, you know how it's a little exhausting as a parent to do Christmas, to put on Christmas.
Yes.
Him and I were just talking about that the other day about how like, oh, at what point do they just know there's no Santa? We can be like quit the like charades, right? But I was before and I was like, do they really like? Are they really going to be that excited? You know how you're just like, mine are 18, 16, and 14. So last year they'd have been 17, 15, and 13, and I'm like. And then the baby, of course, he's excited about everything. But the older ones, I'm like, do they really? Is it really that big of a deal? They sent me a list. They probably know what they're getting. Mostly, you know. I'm down at the crack of dawn. They come tearing down the stairs, and I'm like, all right, okay, Uncle, it's still Christmas. They're still excited out of their minds. Like it's still a big deal. Okay, you know, like because me, I'm like, okay, but. They have a Christmas list. They mostly know what they're getting. Like, is it really that exciting? It's exciting. So, and we had a good Christmas at our house. Hopefully, you guys all had a good Christmas at your house. And then New Year's. I am excited about the New Year for lots of reasons. But I promised you guys that I would announce what our word and our theme for the year is. So I want to talk about that first because I think it's the most important. A thing I'll probably talk about all day. So you guys know that. Every year, and this has been going back for, gosh, I started this maybe 6 years ago. Do you remember when I started with something? Do you remember when I started my kind of theme word? It wasn't really a word. It was an intention. Yeah, there was one before that though. You remember it? Or there was a year. Okay, so every year at the beginning of the year, I'm anti New Year's resolutions because we all know they don't, like it's a joke, right? So I'm not going to try to have a New Year's resolution. Like, let's go lose weight. I want to lose weight every year, okay? I still want to lose weight. And yet, you know, that'll work for about 2 weeks until I decide that I like food better than I like diets. And then, and then there we are again. But I decided that picking, and it's kind of morphed into more of a word, but picking just something to focus on for the year is not a New Year's resolution, but more just to be intentional about what I'm thinking about. And I'm 1 year it was ridding my life of poison. And I will honestly tell you guys, if you've never spent a year doing that, it's probably one of the best things you can do for yourself, for your family, for your life, for your state of mind. And poison does not come in the format of which we would like to believe it comes. Sadly, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's close people that you've allowed into your life. It's like, I spent a whole year just giving myself permission, and that's really what it was. And for me, there was some of it was family, because if I would never hang out with a person that treated me like this. Why on purpose? Why on earth am I letting somebody treat me? You know, you just like, why? And so I just gave myself permission. I didn't make an announcement to anybody. I didn't, whatever. I just gave myself permission to take a step back. I can love them from a distance. Right? I don't have to make an announcement. I am ridding my life of you, you know, because all you're going to do is create more drama with those people because they're full of drama. So I did a whole year of that. And then I did a year of being just really super present. I did a whole year. I was trying to be present. My brain goes, I'm sure you probably haven't noticed, but my brain goes really fast. I sometimes have a hard time sleeping because I have a hard time shutting it off because it just goes and goes and goes. And I'm always thinking about the next thing or something tomorrow, or it's just going all the time. And I struggled. I used to struggle. I've gotten way better at it. I'm really proud of myself. Actually, it was a lot of work. Being present in the moment. So wherever I am, I was there. Like I was your first one. Oh, I did poison first. Yeah. I remember doing poison. Yeah, but we've just spending a whole year of really focusing on wherever I was to just be present there, because it's really easy for me to go, I'm going to talk to you guys, hold on just a minute. And then I'm gone and I'm somewhere else and think, okay, now what was I talking about? Like, and I'm not saying that you can't be busy and you can't be on your phone, and you can't be listening. I am all of those things, but not. If I sat and had lunch with you, I promise I would sit and have lunch with you. And I wouldn't be on my phone the whole time because I'm there with you. Now, I may have an hour of dead time between there, and I may be on my phone like a maniac, right? And I like to use my daughter's softball games because there's a lot of them. She plays tournaments. We're gone for lots of weekends and things like that. When I'm watching her game, my phone goes away, and I watch her game, and it's okay. And there's only a couple people that could blow up my phone that could get me to answer it. And I would know it was an emergency, and then I would stop and answer it. But other than that, an hour and a half isn't going to change most people's lives that they have to wait. And then maybe there's an hour in between games. And so I'm there at the park, but it doesn't change anything if I'm off on my phone because we're not watching games and no, she doesn't give a rip what I'm doing. She's off with her friends, right? You know, whatever. So, and I mean, those are just examples of things. It doesn't matter what the thing is. We all have them, right? I guarantee you when Kim is watching Ava on how many pounds are those horses? 1,000-pound horses. She puts her phone away and watches Ava and makes sure a horse doesn't land on her daughter. Like and on top of the fact that she's proud of her, you know, you have to be. She wants to be there and present in the moment. She also, safety-wise, wants to make sure the horse doesn't land on her daughter, right? But just, you know, whatever it is, it's important to be present in the moment. I spent a year being intentional. And every year I have the last, 5 or 6 years, how many years it's been, I have started the year off with this conversation with you guys and said, you know, here's my word, here's what I like. The last few years, probably especially the last like 3, I have encouraged you kind of as us as a team to embrace kind of a theme or a word or whatever. And it really took off the most. Honestly, I felt like it had the biggest impact 2 years ago when I said we're going to be fierce this year. And boy, were we ever the fiercest fierce I've ever seen. And it was so fun for me. We were growing as a team phenomenally. We have for several years now. But watching people say, I was fierce today when I did this, and I'm like embracing fierce and I'm doing these things. And I remember about halfway through the year going, holy moly, like fierceness has just taken off. And my husband's like, so what are you going to do to beat that? Because that's how he rolls, right? Better think of a good word for next year or this year, you're going to be lame. I'm like, really? And so last year, so I think really hard about this kind of stuff. Like, what do we want to focus on this year? Because once you finish it, it becomes a part of who you are. It's not like you move on and you're never fierce again. Oh, good golly, we are still fierce, right? We are very fierce. And people that were not even on our team a few years ago are fierce. They don't even always know why, but they are, you know, because it's what you do, right? This is what we do. And it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of life. It becomes normal. And I feel like it's part of, if you will, the life embetterment, if you will. You know, like you embrace it, you become it, you take on the good of it, and then you move on to the next thing. So this last year, we were brave because I thought long and hard about being fierce, and it was amazing. But I was like, sometimes you have to be brave. Sometimes you have to take that first step, and that's hard. And sometimes it's hard to be fierce. Sometimes you have to be brave before you can almost be fierce because it's hard. And I think about new people in this business, and they're scared. Starting this business comes with a lot of fear for most people. I know there's a few of you that have no fear whatsoever, and I'm proud of you. I had fear. So I know you all think I don't, but it's not true. I had fear. I wrote, before I even signed up, this like whole big bullet point list of reasons why it might work and reasons why it might fail, right? Like I had this whole like pros and cons to signing up, right? And honestly, when I boiled it all down, the only thing that I could think of was you might fail. Well, you don't really fail. You either do it or you don't do it. Failing isn't really a thing. Quitting is a thing. You can quit. It's not failing, it's choosing not to play, right? So when you realize that there wasn't really a downside, it was more I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try or I'm not going to try. Then you can't really fail, right? I mean, the only person that fails is the person that doesn't get back up again, right? and I think that our business, especially our team, is sort of a, what's the word? Was it microcosm? What's the word? Microcosm?
Microcosm.
Is a microcosm of life in the sense that everything in life is kind of like that. If you fall down and don't get back up again, that's when you fail. It's not falling down that's the failure. What does Michael Jordan say? How many times did he miss the game-winning shot? A lot, like hundreds and hundreds of times. You only remember the 27 that he hit, right? And you think he hit them all, but really, the only reason he hit the 27 is because he kept shooting the game-winning, or attempting the game-winning shot. So for me, brave was not just about us being brave, but it was learning to be brave for people that didn't have their own brave. Like, I'll be your brave until you find your own brave. And I think that's a big deal, and that's a big leadership step in life in general, in people in general, because once you realize it's not hard, sometimes you have to be somebody else's brave. Remember what it feels like, and you have to, take a step out of your comfort zone. Okay, I'll hold your hand until you're ready to walk alone. That's okay, and I loved watching all of you all year long step into your brave. I watched leaders come out of fear. I watched leaders, like literally people that were terrified of their own shadow, became directors and are like, I can do this. I knew you could a long time ago. I watched consultants who said, I'll never sell anything, sell lots. I use Heidi as an example all the time. It wasn't this year, wasn't brave, but it was brave, but it was years ago. I don't know. My first party canceled. That's why direct sales sucks. I'm going to quit. Right? Or whatever. I can't remember what she said, but it was something like that. And now she sold over 1 million this year. I'm like, she didn't quit. She really didn't quit. Right. And I told her over and over and over again, I'll be your brave until, I'll believe for you until you're ready to believe for yourself.
And her first recruit is sitting right
now. I know, and her first recruit is in the room, right?
Oh, Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah.
And there's lots of, I could tell story after story. I actually love all the stories. One of my favorite things about traveling is learning people's story and getting to know people and hearing what their story is, because everybody has one. I don't know them all. I wish I knew every single one of them, but I love the stories. So this year, I was thinking long and hard about, okay, we were fierce and we were brave. And I feel like while we're still bringing in a lot of new, and that's exciting to me, because every time we bring new people into me, that's the opportunity to change a life, change a family, make a difference. So it's not a number to me. When I say, oh, there's 400 people, it's not like, oh, it's just 400 new people. I don't know. There's 400 new opportunities to make a difference. And to me, the bigger that number is, the more impact we'll have on this world. And to me, that's exciting, because I have watched it over and over and over, and I am not making this stuff up. Like fun stories of just life-changing. People have sent me some gut-wrenching messages of, I was buying toilet paper, but this was one message. I was buying toilet paper by the roll because I couldn't afford a whole pack. I didn't even know you could buy toilet paper by the roll. It just it didn't even cross my mind, right? Like, how much is toilet paper a roll? 40 cents or something? I don't know. But she said, and now all my bills are paid and we have money and we have Christmas money. And I'm like sitting in front of my computer bawling. It's ridiculous, But that's the kind of stuff that's like kind of gut wrenching. And I think people go, well, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to tell somebody. I'm like, so maybe take that off yourself for just 2 seconds and just think, like, I offer it to everybody. I don't give a rip if you want to do it or not. It's okay. If you don't want to, there's 1,000 more where you came from. And I don't mean that meanly. There's just lots of people out there. And it's okay if you don't want to. Some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? But if you take it off of yourself and say, I don't want to be pushy, like, I'm not being pushy. I'm just offering it to everybody because I don't know who can't afford a roll of toilet paper. And what their circumstance looks like from the outside does not necessarily determine what their life is like. And so I feel like for us, the natural progression of our words, if you will, is strong. And that's because I feel like we've been through the muck. We've been through the growing pains. When we first started growing, we were a hot mess. I'm not going to lie. A hot mess of awesome, but I didn't even know what to focus on because we were growing so fast and things were popping up and stuff was dropping through the cracks everywhere because I didn't even really know I knew what to do, but not necessarily when you grow at that warp speed, there's stuff everywhere. I've gotten so much better at knowing where to focus, knowing where to point. You're a new director. Here's where you need to focus. I know what to tell you to do, but nobody could tell me what we needed to focus on because nobody has ever grown as fast as we have, ever, in the history of ever. And so for me, I feel like we've gone through the growing pains and the muck and the whatever, and now we were getting. A lot of you I've had now for a long time, and they're not all brand new faces that don't know anything, right? And we got lots of new faces coming, and that's awesome, and I want the new faces, but we have so much more seasoned people that have been through the pain, the growing pains, and now we know what to do, right? And so I feel like we've been fierce, we've been brave, and now we can be strong. Like now we can just take off. We can just really show everybody who we are, which is super fun for me, by the way, not gonna lie. That's probably my proudest thing is to like constantly watch Tupperware be like, what the heck? What are you? And then I get these calls. What are you doing over there? Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just having fun, having parties, you know. And those of you that have ever gone to any kind of Tupperware thing, whether it's Jubilee, whether it's Summit, whether it's DSS, whether it's a trip, I sometimes forget to warn you. Poor Angie Seeley, one of our directors, got on the bus on the way to New York, and somebody heard she was rock on and like drilled her all the way from the airport to the. She went and hid in her room because she was like, you know, like, oh, these people, right? Like, and I forget sometimes to be like, oh, by the way, this might happen. Just smile and say we party a lot. You just kind of forget. Like, we're so. I mean, I've said it a million times, but 1,000,001 is the next thing that we're doing. So, because everybody wants to know what we're doing and they want a piece of our magic, right? They can't have it, by the way, but you just smile and say, we're having lots of fun, we're partying a lot, right? And they don't need to know anything more than that. Honestly, they can't be us, so they're never going to figure out what our magic is. But so for me, our word of, like I said, of 2019 is strong, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to see how we utilize that and how it impacts you as a person, us as a team, you know, how we show Tupperware who we are and what strong looks like. I really am kind of giddy and bursting in the fact that I think this is going to be a really good year, like a really good year. I just have this feeling and I'm kind of excited about it. And I mean, it helps. I have fun things going on in my world in the sense that I have Kirk home now. You guys know that. He's working I say home. He's working the business. I've got him hopping is what I really do. But he's like the other day, he's like, I'm busier than I was at work. I'm like, you're welcome. I literally have him running, but he's not always sure he wants all to do all my tasks, but he'll come along. He'll come along. I'm like, well, you could go back to work. No, thank you. You know. So I'm excited for the freedom that is slowly. I've spent the first couple of months. It has only just been a couple months, but trying to get caught up, and I'm just almost caught up now. And so the being caught up part, once I can like really embrace that, it will give me more time you'll start seeing new things being launched because I'll have some time to my creative brain, and that's my favorite part of my brain. My creative brain will get to start doing some things that I've had in there kind of in the back of my mind, but I'm just like, I can't start another thing because I can't keep up with the things I got going on. So I would love to do some fun things for those of you guys that are, you know, more local. I would love to do some, you know, some cooking classes, some bingo nights, some fun things here, some interactive things where you can bring people and we can do some fun stuff. That's all on my radar. I just, you know, had to get kind of caught up, you know, be here. But anyway, so any questions about that? That's just my fun announcement of what we're going to do. So you're going to start seeing a lot of strong things. I have no idea. Does Kelly Clarkson have a strong song? Does she have a stronger? Oh, see, stronger. There you go. I was like, I think she does, doesn't she? Yeah, see, so that's why I launched that challenge. Yeah. It's so fitting. Do you guys all see that? Did everybody see my challenge?
That's amazing.
I'm super excited about it, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's a little selfishness in it for me because I get to go. I'm not going to lie. I've never actually seen her. I went to the Gorge a few years ago to see her, and there was some windstorm that came to the Gorge, and it was supposed to be her and Maroon 5, and we stood in the rain for over 2 hours before they came out and canceled the show. I was hashtag so sad. Like I was like in the freaking rain. I kept saying they're gonna come out, and I was with Heather. She's like, "Come on, let's just go." I'm like, "They're gonna come out. I know they're gonna come out." No, that's a long drive in the middle of nowhere for nothing. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm super stoked to get to go. I've never been to Boston, so it's another state on my list to check off, and we're gonna have some fun. So I hope you guys learn it. I don't know who I'll be traveling with, but it'll be fun. The tickets are bought. I bought my plane ticket too, so I'm already ready to go. Like ready to go. I'll probably book the hotel tomorrow because that's how I roll. I'm like, let's do this. It'll be fun. And everybody, because of the way that I launched the challenge is that every person, whether you're a consultant, manager, whatever, every person has equal opportunity pretty much to play in some way, shape, or form if you work the business. So, I mean, by default, the easy one is sell 4,000 this month and next month, and you release some drawings for going, right? So, question? Does anybody have questions about that challenge? Yes.
When it says managers and above, does that mean directors too?
Anybody that. So, and the reason why I said that was because if you promote a manager, you get to count that. That's what I said, right? Is that whoever promotes the most managers? Isn't that what I said? Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I said. because a director, I want to make sure a director didn't count one that there was a manager in between. So if you're a manager and you promote somebody, there's no managers in between you, then you count that person. Does that make sense? Whoever the manager is that promotes that person gets to count them. So by default, if they're on your team and you're a director, you don't get to count them if there's a manager in between. Does that make sense? So I wanted to be
Unless
super
they're on
fair.
your personal team and you promote them to manager.
Yeah, they just need to be somebody that there's not a manager in between you and them, basically. So you have to be a manager to play. So if you're not in that category, so if you're not a manager, you should probably step up too. And that's okay. You can step up and they can step up and you can count them. Like that's fine. Okay, so I'm just excited about that particular trend. I'm not gonna lie. I'm geeking out about that one. So if I could have bought more tickets, I totally would have, but they were a little pricey. But I'm excited. We're literally right down in the right down. I didn't put us in the pit because I don't like standing for the entire concert. So I could have put us right right at the underneath the stage, but you had to stand the entire concert, and my legs just did not do that. So we're right, like 7th row, I think it is, right there. Right, it's next to the stage. It's very exciting. Not
Was
gonna
she
lie.
playing with someone?
Yeah, Kelsey Ballerini.
We saw her when we went and saw Demi Lovato. She opened the video line.
I knew I'd seen the
And we
name.
took the girls to that.
Kelsey Ballerini and the one of the girls from The Voice, the one that Kelly Clarkson promoted. If you say her name, I would say yes. I saw it and I recognized it from watching The Voice. I think it might have been last season's winner because Kelly won last year, I think, didn't she? I think it's that season's winner. Blonde girl, brown hair, something like that, kind of ish. I don't know. Anyway, her. I mean, if you go look it up, I'm sure you'll see it. But okay, I was just proud of myself for that one. I was like, yes, I would like. I'd like to go to a concert and take some team members. Who's playing? Who do I love? Maroon 5 was playing in Paris, and wow, that would have been fun. I went to Maroon 5 first, and I was like, yeah, Germany and Paris was really fun. I was like, well, that would be fun. It's not really an in and out trip.
10,000 personal studies.
Yeah, you guys would have had to sell a lot of them. Okay, so let's do a couple drawings really quick. Stephanie, do you want to do a drawing for those that are online?
Yeah, we have Karen Marcia.
Is that our winner?
Yes.
Okay, we have a winner of Karen Marcia, and we probably just butchered that, and I'm sorry.
And Sandra Regalado.
Oh boy, she is not helping me. Sandra Regalado. Sorry, I'm sure that's wrong, but Stephanie said it, so it's all her fault.
Karen is on.
So if you are one of those 2 people and you are on, message Stephanie Meester right now with your address because you just won a drawing prize for being on. Congratulations. And she's going to send me a list once it's over of all the winners, and I will pop some prizes in the mail. Okay, so for those in the room, last 4 numbers are 9511. Yay! Pass that behind you. Yeah. And one more drawing in the room, and it'll be 9539. Yay! We pass that behind you from. Thank you. Okay. So. What are we earning right now? Okay, you guys, you better be excited about this because you lost your minds at Fall Fest when I showed them to you and then you couldn't get them.
Oh, that reason.
Sorry, it wasn't funny, but it was really funny. These are what you guys are earning right now. Well, last week, this week, each week there's more pieces to this puzzle. I'm going to talk about them just briefly because it seems like some of you did not remember what I talked about at Fall Fest. Come on, people.
It was a long day.
I'll pretend like I'm talking to the new people. They're made for the freezer. Love. These are okay. So we got a few of us, we being the operative word, I got some of these ahead of time, like maybe 6 months ago or so, and I fell in love with them and put them in my kitchen. And it takes a lot, if you know me, for me to put something in my kitchen anymore. I have to really like it because I just have a lot, right? Or I've already got it. Like the next flyer, the fresh and cool containers, I already have those. We had those years ago. So a lot of the stuff I've already got, maybe a different color or slightly different, but these went right in my kitchen, and I replaced all of my freeze-its, my refrigerator containers, and my keep tabs, anything like that. These are what they're made for. They have little snowflakes on them. I'll get close so you can see them. I don't know if you can see the snowflakes. I feel like maybe you can't. Oh, there you can kind of. When it has snowflakes on it, that's Tupperware telling you it's made to go in the freezer. See how it's bendy? That's so if you freeze something, you can pop it out. Because you know when you freeze stuff and then it's in there and you're like, it takes an ice pick to get it out. And you're like, well, I thought this was a good idea, but it's not. That's so that you can put things in here and pop it out. I don't really use them for my freezer that much. I use them for my refrigerator because I love the way these lids go on. They go on differently. And for those of you online, you'll just have to get some and then you'll know because I can't show you. But I'll pass this around for those in here. They just go on a little differently than any lids we've had before. And they seal very nicely. And I like that they go on without, like some of the lids just, and it doesn't matter how many times you put it on. It's like it never really, it's like, that sucker's on. So I'm very thankful for the liquid tight, airtight seal, but any poor mom with arthritis is gonna hate you. You know what I mean? Like, and these are just not like that. They're very soft and pliable and they go on really tight and well. And I'll pass them around so you guys can see them and play with them.
And do they have the stain guard? Is that what the plus means?
Yes, the plus means they have the stain guard on. So that doesn't mean, these are not made for the microwave. So if you put them in the microwave, you're gonna stain them. Okay, can you put them in the microwave? Will they do anything harmful to your body? No, you'll be fine. They're not gonna hurt you. They're just not designed for that, which means they do have pores. They have put the stain guard, which means they dip it in some special, something really fancy sounding with a lot of words. But I don't know. But it fills up the pores and makes them so that they're less likely to get filled full of stuff. Because when stuff stains, it's going up into pores, right? And then it lives there forever. It doesn't hurt you usually. It just lives there and looks gross. I'm just going to tell you they're not made for the microwave because if you put them in the microwave and you stain them, your pretty new containers aren't going to look pretty, and then it's just sadness every time you use them. And I really would hate for there to be Tupperware sadness in your kitchen. So personally, I use them for all the things in the refrigerator. There's a lot of things we put in the refrigerator that don't go in the microwave. I know you think you put everything in Vent and Serve because everything goes in the microwave. And I'm here to tell you, there is a lot of things that don't go in the microwave that you don't really think about. Like, I open up a can of olives for my daughter. She puts 6 olives on her taco, and then we have the rest of the can. You got to dump it in something, right? These are perfect for that. My husband stores all these weird random things. If you've ever met him, you know he eats like the purest person ever in the entire world, and he puts weird concoctions of things in his food, and it's really disgusting, and I don't partake. However, I have to store these things in my fridge, and he put like these like chia seeds. Have you seen those? You can dump them on your salad, and then you get full fast or something. I don't know. Whatever. I don't put weird things on my food, okay? But he does. He puts like grains and things like what's it called?
Quinoa?
Like flaxseed, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but he has to keep them in the fridge. He thinks he has to keep all these things in the fridge because he read somewhere he had to. I don't know. So I have these funky little weird containers full of, and then I can't find my tablespoons or my teaspoons. Yeah, he puts them inside these containers and leaves them in the fridge. Well, it's easier that way. Just get yourself some more. I'm like, he always picks the one that's like tablespoon and teaspoon are the two that you need all the time, right? He does not understand my pain. I'm like, stop taking the measuring spoons. He goes, I like them. That wasn't what I asked. So we have like these funky, weird, like grain things in our fridge full of these things with my measuring spoons and whatever. And then we have, like, if you were to make a, like, honestly, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I would prefer, personally, I would put sandwiches in this before I put it in a sandwich keeper. Just my humble opinion, especially if you're making multiples and cut them like in halves. I just like these kind of containers. They make me happy. They don't slide all over the place. They're like modular made, so the bottom has this little ridge, and these have a little ridge so they nest and stack and don't slide. Yes, they are happy, pretty colors. You can, also mix and match the lids of the smaller sizes. They can mix and match. Salsa, if you make a batch of salsa, you can put a batch of salsa in there. If you buy butter or sour cream or something at Costco, and you want to put just some in your fridge and the rest in the garage fridge, you can just put some in a container, or you can divvy the Costco sized jug that's this big that doesn't fit anywhere nicely ever into 5 containers of usable sizes. And honestly, if it's something that's freezable, you can put it in the freezer. The pieces in the freezer, you don't need them just one in the fridge, right? Or if you open a can of tomato sauce and don't want to throw the rest of it away, but you only need a half a cup, whatever. Anyway, so I just really, really like them. They're also nice, like this one. Hello. I like how modular they are. And this one is a really good size if you have children in the car, because it's like a writing tablet. But inside stores paper and pens and things like that. So it's just it'll slide underneath seats. These are the kind of things. Who are we with?
Sorry.
Oh, I was like, is the iPad beeping? What's happening? I haven't heard that thing before. Better not be a fire because the sprinklers will go off, and I will not be a happy girl if the sprinklers go off. That's not my best look. Oh, you're fine. I was like, is something going on? What's happening? So I mean, obviously you can use this for food. It's a great use for food. But if you were using it, I'm always like, what else can I do with it if it's not in use? And then, like I showed you guys at Fall Fest, they nap. Clearly, I got enough sleep last night. They stack and nest very, very well. Always put the smaller size on the bottom when you're stacking, and they go down inside very well. So for storage purposes, while they shouldn't be stored like this, they should be in use in your fridge. However, if you just happen to clean out your fridge and run through the dishwasher, and you just happen to have a bunch of empty containers, they would store very nicely. But you shouldn't have to speak to that because they should just be in your fridge. I'm just saying.
So because we are earning them, we can't sample them.
No, they're not ready for sample yet, but here's how that little system usually works. Usually what happens is you earn them first, and then they usually come out after that as a host gift special, and you can sample that, and then usually after that they hit a flyer or a catalog. Now, they didn't tell us any of that. I'm just saying that's usually how this system works. But I'm just telling you from a personal perspective, earn as many as you could. If you're in the Confident Start program, you can earn one set because you can earn them each week. If you're not in the Confident Start program, and you're not getting all the extra bonus prizes from that, you can actually earn 2 full sets. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
So by selling each week, you get pieces to the puzzle, and then by selling $27.50 the whole month, you get an entire another set.
Oh, no, those are the freshen pools. Never mind.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yes. I'm like, I know what you're saying because I did it, and then never mind. Yeah, I know they're happy. So anyway, so you can get yourself 2 sets, which is actually kind of perfect. 1 set to demo, 1 set in your house, to be totally honest, because these are going to come out. They're giving you the ability to have them and use them. Because honestly, I don't know that I would be so excited about them if I just got them 5.5 seconds ago, right? But because I've had them in my fridge or in my freezer and my cupboards, and I've been using them, I'm telling you all the things that I've put in mine, which is actually quite a lot of things. There are a lot of things you don't microwave. I'm just saying. Right? If you're going to microwave it, obviously put in the Vet and Serve, which everybody wants right now because you can sign up and get it as a. Did you guys see the new? I'm totally spoiling, but did you guys see the new divided brown one?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's divided. Nice.
But I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Well, we
That's the say yes offer. But it's divided. You know how many people are begging for divided Vent and Serves? You know how many neurotic people don't like their food to touch? Okay. And it's neurosis. I'm just going to throw that out there, but whatever. We still love people with neurosis. It's okay. We can sell to them too. If you know people that don't like their food to touch, oh, why don't you join my team? I got the perfect container for you. Okay? Here's your mashed potatoes and your gravy.
Yeah.
I like to mix them all up. It's all going to the same place anyway, but
my husband does that.
yeah, does that bother you?
I don't care if it touches, but I don't mix like my peas and my mashed potatoes together. They
Good. Well, not peas, because peas are gross.
Corn.
Corn. Yes.
Corn.
Corn. Because you get a little crunch in your mashed potatoes. It's so good. Not peas, honestly, peas should be nowhere. Yeah. Peas were the things I used to hide behind the fishbowl. Because my mom would like, I'd swish them around my plate so it looked like I ate some and then hide some behind the fishbowl. I'd be like, I'm done, I ate some, can I be done now? This is why you need a dog. This is why I need a dog? Just feed it to it. I'd have to clean more, his hair everywhere. I can't be doing that. I can barely keep up after my children. Okay. So anyway, squirrel, but that's the say yes offer. That's really cool. And if you just saw Vet and Serve and didn't like actually like see that it was the divided, you need to contact every person in your life who doesn't like their food to touch and be like, I have the best reason ever for you to join my team today. They're gonna be like, what? I'm gonna speak in your language right now. Okay, so second is we're gonna talk about goals. Did I do that? I'm just gonna be really mad at myself in just 1 second. So hold on, let me look. I think I forgot to bring something. Oh. Nope, because it's sitting on my desk. That makes me mad. All right. Well, anyway. So get a piece of paper out or write on your phone or whatever. I printed about 75 of these. They're gonna be super awesome for my recycle bin. But yeah, Stephanie's got a grin on her face back there. Smart aleck.
It wasn't my fault.
I got a new
That's why I'm
printer.
smiling.
I got a new printer though, and it's so cool. It's like an office one.
Makes prints in seconds.
It prints color laser. It prints like a copy machine. Like it's a beast, but I love it. Who would have thought a printer could make you so happy? Every time I turn it, I hear it go on. I go. Anyway, so and I made 75 copies to give you guys. And they're not here. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about is goals. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, and you're just going to have to use some sort of device or paper or something to write on, because you're going to want to write this down. And I have a post that's going to hit the team page, and it will hit in about 15 minutes. And I want you to take a picture of what your goals are and comment underneath there. And I'm going to do, I didn't write this in the post, so pay attention. But I'm going to do drawings for those that post their goals. Okay.
So what we write, we're taking.
Yeah. So whatever you write, we're just going to take a picture of what you write and comment. These are my goals, my 2019 goals. So we're going to talk about what is it you want out of this business. I can't want for you what you don't want. It's not a good relationship, to be totally honest. If you want something different than what I want for you, we're not going to have a fun time. So it doesn't matter to me what you want. I would love to know what it is you want, and I'd love to help you achieve that goal. Now, I'm a little bit of a pusher, I'm not going to lie, because I'm going to try to stretch you a little bit. So if I look at your goal and be like, that's not big enough, don't you want more? And usually you're like, yeah, but you were a chicken when you wrote it down. So I might push you a little bit, but I don't want, if you are like, I want to step up to manager, and I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to be like, you should be a 3-star director by the end of the year. You know what I mean? Clearly we're going to have a communication gap. You're going to run when I talk to you, and we're never going to have a good conversation because we're not looking at the same thing. So I would like to know, what is it that you want by the end of 2019? So when December of 2019 comes around and we are celebrating our year and we're talking about the fact that we've had the best year ever, where will you be? What do you want out of this? Do you want to just be a consultant? And that's okay if that's what you want. If you want to be a consultant, but then give me your sales goal. My goal is to sell $15,000 this year. My goal is to, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to say, from a personal perspective, I would push to say, contemplate stepping up to manager. Even if your goal doesn't want to be huge, you don't want to do big things, it's just a fun little gig. Here's why I will say that, and you can still decide. I'm still not going to push you to do something you don't want. But it's kind of like going and seeing that movie. I saw Crazy Asians. Did you guys see that? Mm-hmm. That's hysterical. You should all see that movie. That is so flippin' funny. Chick flicks. If I think a movie's super funny, I'm going to tell somebody, you should watch that movie, whatever. Because everything's more fun with a friend, right? Because when you send me that message and say, I watched that movie, it was hilarious. That's a fun conversation. We laugh about the whatever part. I watched a horrible movie over the holidays that was stupid and dumb, and don't ever watch it. And I can't remember the name of it. It's a Bird Box. Huh? Bird Box. No. Oh. I refuse to watch that now on principle. Yeah. Just because everybody's posted about it, so I will never watch it. Yeah. There's the rebel in me right there. I don't even know what the movie is. I'm like, what is this Bird Box? I feel like I missed something. Yeah. No, I don't even remember what the movie was, but it was so dumb, and it kept getting dumber, and I kept watching. Oh, Destination Wedding.
Yes. I totally agree. I had to stop halfway through.
I didn't. I kept watching. I thought it's gonna get better. It was so bad. It was really witty and funny at first, because their banter was funny and they were witty, and so I thought,
that's all they do.
Yeah, and it's not funny after a while. No. It's just stupid. Don't watch it. It's horrible. It was so bad. It was like torture treatment by the end, and then it just ends. Oh. And then you're like one of those movies where it just ends. You're like, really? That's all you got? I watched this entire thing, and that's all you got. Yeah. Nope. Anyway, whatever. It was fine. It was a pajama kind of movie, but yeah. Anyway, I think you should step into manager because everything's more fun with a friend, and because this business is more fun when you have friends. And I don't know how to say that other than it just is. You'll be more excited for somebody else's first $1,000 party than you will your own. And
Gosh, that's true.
isn't that?
That is so true.
And it's how do you describe that to somebody until they felt what it is? But like it's just more fun. So yeah, you want to just do this as a part-time gig and just have a little bit of fun with it. It's more fun as a manager. That's all I'm going to say. So that's my 2 cents. I will jump off my soapbox. If you want to talk about it more, we can talk about it more. But I promise you I'm right on this because I've had enough experience to know that. But I would like to know what your goal is. So if your goal is to step up to manager, a manager's minimum sales are 2,500. And so you would take 2,500 times 12. And that dollar amount would be your sales goal. Okay, that's the minimum. A manager can do more than that. I would like a manager to do more than that. However, you should at least post that your goal is the minimum. If your goal is star manager's minimum is 5,000 a month. So you take 5,000 times 12, and that dollar amount is your sales goal. If your goal is to be a director, then director's goal is 10,000 a month. That's the minimum. So you would take 10 times 12, and you'd have 120,000. That's your goal. Does that make sense? If your goal is to promote a director and be a star director, then your goal is at least 20,000 because 10,000 in your personal team and 10,000 in your director's team. So 20,000. Does that make sense? So whatever your goal is, take that times 12. Now, here's what you do with a goal that the world does not teach you. I'm going to educate you right now, okay? The best way to figure out whether your goal is achievable and something you want to do is to break it down, but you have to break it down backwards. So everybody looks at something and goes, I want to do this, and then they try to build a plan. Their plan's usually not quite realistic or logical, and you're going at it frontwards instead of backwards, and backwards is actually the best way. So if your goal is, let's say our goal is 120,000. We're just going to use that because that's a number I think I can do in my head without a calculator. You always take your goal and you cut it in half. So what's my 6-month goal then? So your 6-month goal is 60,000, okay? So you write that down. That's the next line. So here's my year goal. I had all this written down. It's probably going to post, so you'll have a virtual copy of it. So irritated that I don't have one for all of you guys. The recycle bin will be so happy today. So 6-month goal is 60,000, okay? And you break that in half again. What's your 3-month goal? 30,000. And you break it in half one more time. What's your 1.5-month goal? 15,000. And then you take that and you divide it by 6. What is your weekly goal for the next 6 weeks? So what is 15,000 divided by 6? That I cannot do in my head. Who is that? 2,500 a week. So that is your goal for the next 6 weeks, 2,500 a week. You're not going to be able to do that by yourself. I'm just going to throw that out there. You need a team. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying you need a team. So you're going to want to, but honestly, 2,500 is only 5 parties. 5 $500 parties. It's not even working full time, guys. It's not even really working. I mean, it's like half part time if you think about it. If you say a party, if you're doing a home party, you're talking about 2-3 hours. If you say 3 hours times 5 parties is what? 15 hours in a week. That's a very part-time job when full-time is 40 plus. So to just give you some perspective, and then people get all like, oh, I did 4 parties. I'm like, okay, so count the hours. You're getting paid really good money for really part-time work in that scenario. People don't always, don't think about it because we do it in fits and starts. If you're doing Facebook parties, it's in pieces. But even still, hours versus dollar per hour, it's pretty good money. Then you get your 6-week goal, so you know, here's what I need to do each week for the next 6 weeks. Obviously, you can ramp up or down a little bit, so if it's a little bit big for this particular week, but by the end of 6 weeks, I'm going to be there. And then you go, okay, so what do I need to do this week, and what do I need to do today and tomorrow? And that's, you just kind of subtract it down. If what you have to do in the next 6 weeks or today or tomorrow is way out of control, way too big, freaks you out, you're never going to do it, then you set your goal maybe just a little too big. So then adjust your goal. Okay, my year goal is not 120,000. I'm going to change it to 100,000 and then subtract it down. Now, if what you have to do today, tomorrow, and the next weeks is super, super easy and comfortable, that's not a goal. Haha, that's a task. Because you can just do that. If it's a goal, it needs a plan, and it needs to make your stomach hurt, right? Because if it's not barf-tastic, it's not worth it, right? If it makes you kind of want to hurl, then it's stretching you and it's making you feel uncomfortable and it's going to make you get out of your comfort zone. And that makes it barf-tastic and that makes it amazing. And that means that you're going to grow and you're going to be strong, right? You're already brave, so now you just get to go be strong, right? You already know how to take the first step. So that is how you break down a yearly goal. Does that make sense to everybody? It's not hard, but it's the easiest and most effective way to figure out what it is you want and then to adjust it and redo it. That's how I've always, people say to me, well, I want to go to Europe. That's my goal. That's why I'm doing Step 1. Okay, what is that? What does that mean? What do you mean, what does that mean? How much does that cost? I don't know. But you're never going to get there if you don't know how much it costs. I'm just going to tell you right now. You're just going to talk about it for the next 10 years. You'll keep talking about it. You'll never go. Oh, well, it costs $10,000. Okay, when do you want to go? Next year. Okay. So you want to go in 12 months? Yes. So take $10,000, divide it by 12 months. Here's how much, divide it in half, but get it all. Here's what I need to, and you can literally figure out how much money do I need to make and put away. Now, if part of my money needs to go to bills and only part can go to Europe, then okay, how much do you need to make in addition to Europe, and then subtract that out. And if you realize that it's too hard to go to Europe in 12 months, I need to go in 16 months because I can handle that goal a little bit better, then you change it to 16 months. You see what I'm saying? But you might actually go to Europe when it's all done because you made a plan, set a goal, and have achievables, right? Because a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? I mean, wishes come true sometimes, but usually you have to put a little action behind them for them to come true.
Yeah, I wish I was 30 pounds lighter.
Right? I wish I was too, and then I see food.
Yeah.
Stephanie got me the best little magnet. It says something about, I used to think I might want to diet, but then I realized I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, that's the problem, is I'm hungry. Anyway, so what I want for all of you guys is I want you guys to take a second and figure out what do you want from this business? You have probably the most amazing support team that there is out there. I mean, in addition to me, who loves to support all of you, there are loads of directors and leaders and managers and people that want to cheer you on, want to support you, want to answer your questions. You can post a question probably at 3 in the morning and somebody somewhere will answer you. Usually it's right. Sometimes it's not. But I mean, honestly, there's so much love and support. I mean, honestly, that is what my biggest thing that I was striving for, was to create a sense of community where everybody was, no matter where they lived, felt a part, and where anybody could get answers to anything they wanted and feel loved any time of day. And I feel like we have achieved that. So I just want to know, what is it you want out of 2019? And I think it's super, super important for you to figure that out. Otherwise, you'll leave here, and that was a really fun meeting, but you have no goal, right? So I just want to know, what do you want? And it's okay not to want the world. If you just want it to be a fun part-time gig, that's fine, but quantify it. What does that mean? Because then it feels so much, if I want to have 4 parties a month as a part-time gig, and that's what I want to do, it feels so good to know that's what I want to have and to actually go out and achieve it each month. If I never know what I want to do, then some months I might have 10 and some might have 1, and I don't really know, but there's no sense of accomplishment in that, right? What are we trying to do? We're trying to grow, and be brave, and be fierce, and be strong. Right? Setting goals and achieving them is part of that in life and in our world. And you can't separate the two. It's all one. We wherever we go, we take ourselves. I keep telling my crazy aunt that. She moves. I keep telling her, when you get there, you'll still be there, right? Because she keeps trying to outmove her situation. It's not working out for her. Yeah, she's a runner. She's in Arizona now. It's warm and beautiful, and I live in paradise, and you're there. Let me know how that works. You brought your crazy with you. Yeah, I love her. Bless her soul. But she's a little crazy. Okay. So questions about goals. So what I want you guys all to do is, once you get your goal figured out, and I'm going to keep talking to you, and you can keep working on it. It's fine. You can adjust it, readjust it, whatever. Screenshot it or take a picture of it, and then post it on the comments of where I posted the piece of paper that I was going to hand out to you. Those that are online are happily printing it off, laughing. Oh, I have one. Yeah, shut up. But just post your goals underneath them, and then I'm going to do some drawings for everybody that posts their comments. And I'm going to also say this. Don't hear me say that and go, yeah, I'll write it down, but I'm not posting it for her. I see you. There is power in saying something out loud. Commenting with a picture of your goal is, in essence, saying it out loud. And you all know I'm right. So say it out loud. Yeah, I know there's accountability in that too, but the point is that you've said it out loud. I promise you, people do 30 that are in some sort of a program or have some sort of a goal they're shooting for, do 30% better than people that are not. Just fact, because you're working for something. If you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else, right? Because you don't have any plan. But when you have a plan and a goal and you're excited about something and somebody's going to Kelly Clarkson with me, then, you know, you might actually get there. Okay. So questions about that?
Ooh, that could be someone's goal.
So that could be someone's goal.
Take that.
That's a 2-month goal because that one ends at the end of February. But if you work hard to earn that, I guarantee you, whoever earns that is going to have a good year. I'm just going to say that is a fantastic start to the year. You guys have started.
4,000. You better be stepping.
You guys
Step it up.
started the week very well too. We ended last week at about 230,000.
Nice.
So we had a good start to the first week. I haven't posted that yet because I needed to come here and talk about what our theme was, and I just didn't want to like kill the buzz by posting it first, which is all wrong. I had to come talk about it first. Okay. As far as our team count goes, I'm going to say this out loud to everybody that's here, just so you guys know, so you know you're a part in it. I want to, Tupperware does a big double challenge. You guys have seen us strive for it. I did the math on it last night because I just wanted to see what it required. I didn't do this last year, and I think this is where I failed you guys. We worked on it, but I didn't do the math on what do we actually need every month from every director team to achieve this. So right now, we started January with 1,776 active team members. So to double, we need 3,552 active team members at the end of the year to double our count. Why do I want to do that? There's not like, well, there's a trophy, but there's not like any big award for me when we do it. But I will say this till I turn blue in the face. That's 1,776 people / families that we have an opportunity to make a difference in. And it's a fun goal to shoot for. And I love to just, you know me, I like to pick goals and go for them, right? So so it means we need 150 new people, not minus the ones that fall out, because you lose some every month. It's just a fact. There's a hole in the bucket. Okay, there always is. There's always just people that signed up and never really did anything or whatever. So in addition to what falls out of the bucket, we need 150 always every single month. I did the math on when you add the red and you add the people that are falling out and you add the new people, we need every single director team to grow by 10 a month, and we will double our business. So we just need every director team to be a perfect 10 new people. That 10 new people will absorb the people that fall out, and I'm like, sure we have enough new fresh every single month. It's totally achievable, you guys. That is not an unachievable goal. And so those of you that are not directors, make it your goal to at least grow by 1 new person every month. If each person reaches 1 person, we win. Honestly, it's not that hard. Like literally, if every person reaches 1 person a month, we win. We absorb those that fall out easily, and we're in the positive. So everybody can do their part by just finding 1 new person. Change somebody's life this month. Make a difference somewhere. You totally can do it. Maybe it's the coffee stand lady. Maybe it's the bank lady. Maybe it's whoever Christina was talking to this morning. Where is she? Where'd she go? There she is. Who was it you were talking to? The lady in the Starbucks line. Or it was a guy. That was a guy, wasn't it?
19-year-old.
Oh, yes. Well, okay, maybe not him. But you know what I mean. I mean, it's just the conversation. Sometimes it's just a random one-off conversation. Bring them. They can come here. Guests are always welcome here. We love guests. So that is our goal as far as people goes, is 10 new people per month, per director team. That's our goal. Obviously, the bigger teams are going to do more than that, but I want even the small teams to do 10 a month. You won't be small for long in that scenario. And that's also awesome, because the more you grow, the easier hitting goals. Here's the thing. This business is more fun when you're growing. For everybody. It's not fun to struggle. It's not fun to dig and look for parties. It's why you book 2 parties off at every party, always, because then you're not out looking for parties either. Because you always have parties. This business is fun when you're growing. Personally, as a team, as anything, right? It's never fun to have an empty calendar and no team members. It's fun to have a full calendar and lots of team members. That's when this business is fun. So do yourself a favor and set yourself up for fun, okay? I don't know about you, but I like to have fun, right? So if you focus hard on, no matter what the size and sales is of every party, that you always get 2 bookings off of every party personally, I promise you your business will explode. That is the key. Because some will flake, some like stuff happens, you'll recruit people, whatever, but if you're always booking 2 parties off of every party, I never had an empty calendar ever. Stephanie doesn't have an empty calendar. She's always booking at least 2 parties off of every party. Now, yeah, you're going to recruit some people and give them away, but if you have a full calendar, you can afford to do that. If I have 5 parties this week and I recruit 3 of them, I still have 2. You see what I mean? It's highly unlikely that you're going to recruit every single person, every single party. I would think that's a fantastic problem, but it's highly unlikely that you'll recruit every single person, right? So set yourself up for fun and success. This business is more fun. We all like to have fun. At least I think you all like to have fun. I do, right? Okay, so that's our goal. And then as a team, here's what I looked at. And you guys tell me if you think if I'm on the money or not on the money with this. I'll love your feedback. I have been told before by the room that I didn't pick the right number. So we'll see if you guys agree with me. So the last 2 years we've shot, I always pick a big goal. And do we always hit it? No, but who gives a rip? I'm going to go for it and shoot for the moon, land among stars, right? Whatever. So last year we shot for 10 million. And the year before that, so we had 2017. Well, 2016. We'd had 4.5 million. The next year shot for 10 million and landed at 7.85. So fantastic growth, didn't hit 10. So what? Had a great year, right? Fantastic growth. So 2018, we were coming off of 7.85 million and I shot for 12, or I should say we shot for 12, it was me. And we landed at 10.5, a little over 10.5. Fantastic year. So what? We didn't hit 12. Why did we need to hit 12? I don't know. I just picked that number and decided it'd be fun, right? That's how I roll. So this year, I actually did the math on this. I actually think we can do this. So we hit 10.5 last year, and I think a good goal for us is 15. What do you guys think?
That's what I was gonna guess.
Do you think? I think 15 is a good. If I did the math, if we double, if every director team has 10 recruits each month, we will hit that number. If we double. See, that's what I think is doable too. I'm like, I don't feel like that's out of control, like we can't do it. I realize that's big growth, but we're strong.
Yeah, and in the year, 2015, weren't we like $1 million? Didn't we hit $1 million?
Yeah, so we were shooting for $1 million in 20, I get the years mixed up. Well, one of the years we were shooting for $1 million, and we ended up blowing past $1 million in October, and I was like, so let's go for $1.5 million because we hit our number. And we ended up at like 1.45. We're 50,000 short of
in that short amount of time.
Yeah, and then the next year we went from 1.5. We shot for 3, and I had to mid-year adjust it because you guys were all laughing at me because we were going to blow past our goal again. I was like, dang it! So then we shot for 5. I don't even 4 or 5. I can't remember. We ended up at 4.45. I think is what it was. It was like 4.45. And then the next year we shot for 10, and we landed at 7.8. Like so, I mean. We have a history of killing it. I'm just saying. So I think 15. When I went back and did the numbers, like what could we do? Does it make me a little nauseous? Absolutely. 15 million is a lot of Tupperware, but why not, right? Somebody should. Might as well be us. But more so than just the numbers, you have to have numbers. You have to have a goal. Otherwise, what did I just say? People with a goal do 30% better. So I'm picking a goal. There's nothing in it for me at 15. Like, there's not like a prize, There's lots of prizes along the way, trips and fun things and whatever, but there's nothing. 15 is just a number. But I feel like, okay, if I did the math and if every director team grows by 10 and we double, that's going to be super fun. And it's going to be super fun for me for every single one of those director teams because nobody's struggling. And I know that people don't always realize that, but my heart breaks when people are struggling to hit things. I don't like that for them, not for me. I realize our big sales are less, but that is not why I hate it. I hate it because people need those paychecks to pay their bills. People, are trying to feed their families. They don't, they've got a car and they don't want to have to pay equipment. There's all kinds of reasons why, that there's a need, right? So for me, it breaks my heart when anybody's struggling. I don't like that. So I want to grow, and because everything's more fun and everybody's making money, everybody's having a good time, right? And this business is fun. Just for me, it's the same. You all have a better month and have a lot more fun when you're selling 4,000 personal than when you're selling 500. Just gonna say it out loud, right? When I get the squeals and the messages and the posts of I just had my first $1,000 party, I had another 1,000, right? Okay, that's more fun. I'm just saying, right? So I think if we shoot for 15, we're gonna have growth and more fun, and everybody's like, I just feel like it's a win all the way around. You guys agree with me? You think that's a good number? Think we should do that? Okay. That's my take on it. Are those online agreeing with me? I can see them saying things. I just don't know what they're saying.
No, they're good.
Okay. So I guess that's me sharing what I think our goal should be. Please tell me. One year I said, oh, it was the year that we did 1.45 million. And I said, let's go for 2 million. And the room said no, 3. I was like, no, but I just thought, we just barely hit a million, and they were like, no, it's not big enough. And I was like, oh gosh. But I think 15 is big enough. I think that we can do it. But I think we can do it. Do we have to stretch? Do we have to be strong? Yes. Does everybody have to participate? Yes. This is not a some people do, some people don't kind of scenario. We need everybody to play. Okay, so that's my goal for that, or our goal, or it's your strong goal. Okay, what else was I going to show you? I showed you that. Okay, so let's do a couple drawings, and then I want to talk about booking and close and why and how and all that fun stuff. So here we go. Who's online? You got a couple winners for me online?
We have Grace Richardson.
We have Grace Richardson. Hi, Grace. I know where she lives. I've been there.
And Chris Hoffa.
And who?
Chris Hoffa.
Chris Hoffa. Those are our 2 winners. Congratulations. Send Stephanie Meester a direct message with your address, because she's going to collect that information for me and send me a message, and I will pop a prize in the mail to you. Okay, for those in the room, we got a couple winners. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. It would help if I grabbed it right now. Okay. 95335. Oh. Yay! All right, and 9538. Yay! I'm gonna try to toss this and not take Cheryl's head off. Okay. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about booking parties in close. So what does that mean? So when you're doing home parties, and I'll talk to both scenarios, home parties and Facebook parties. When you're doing home parties, what that means is, well, with any parties really, if you book them farther out than like 2 to 3 weeks, the likelihood of them flaking and not happening, the percentage of that starts getting higher and higher, because people are excited to do it right now and they want something, and then life happens and their kid has the flu and their dad runs off with another woman, and I don't even know what whatever happens in people's lives. Lots of things happen, but things that derail you. But in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you can focus. You can still remember that excitement, and you can keep doing it. So the best thing you can do is get people to book in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, let's talk about that. That doesn't mean that you just open up your calendar and say, when do you want to have a party? When you go to the doctor's office, do they say, when do you want to come in? Yeah. They do not. They say, would you like to come in on Tuesday or Thursday? We have a 1 o'clock on Tuesday and a 7 o'clock on Friday. And you go, oh, that doesn't work. Okay. Then we have the following Monday, and you just take what they give you, right? Because that's what you do. Because people are suggestible, right? And because people do what you tell them to. So my suggestion to you would be, don't say, when do you want to have a party? Say, would you like, and you can even go as far as, a lot of people don't even show their calendar, like at a home party. They just hand out, put out three 3x5 cards and say, pick with dates on them. Pick the date you want and put your contact information on the card. And if they say, well, none of these dates will work, then you pull out the other 2 or 3 you stick them out, right? Now, if they say, well, I can't possibly have a party in the next 3 weeks, there's no way I possibly can. Say, that's okay. The only way I can give, like if Crystal's my host, I'd be like, well, the only way that Tupperware will give Crystal credit for your party is if you have in the next 3 weeks, and that's totally okay if you can. I was just hoping we could give Crystal credit, but if not, we can look a little farther out than that. This is what they say. They think they're the only person in the world that's ever said this. I've heard it 10,000 times personally. They go, well, I mean, I don't. Okay, let me look at those dates again. Maybe I can make. I don't know. You should see my schedule. It's insane. I mean, my son plays soccer, and my job is just crazy, and they tell you all this stuff, and you're like, my life is crazier than yours, but okay, in your mind, but whatever. You're like, okay, and then they go, well, and let them hem and haw, and then they'll come back to, well, there's a chance I might be able to make this one work. Probably the only one, but I could probably, okay. We'll just go ahead and put that, we'll write in pencil just in case, right? And you go, okay, well, that's okay. I write in pencil. So let's write it in pencil. And honestly, if we can make this one work, that's great because we can give Crystal credit and she can get all the bonuses. And we want to make sure Crystal gets that, right? And we're totally like, using Crystal. And it does say in the catalog that the parties have to be held the next 3 weeks. All of us know that you can click whatever you want in there and that the system will give them credit. But that's not what Tupperware's rules actually are. So use that to your advantage. Don't give them 17 weeks out when that isn't really what Tupperware said, right? So it's not you. You're not the evil person. Tupperware said it, right? Now, if they say there's no possible way, so that's okay. Well, we can book you in 4 weeks. I just was hoping we could give Crystal credit. And I don't say it meanly like, you are screwing your friend. Like, be gentle in how you say it, okay? Because how you say it matters, and you can tick somebody off. But if you're going to say, oh my gosh, okay, well, I was really hoping we could give Crystal credit, and I only the parties that count in the next 3 weeks count for her party. But if we can't, that's all right. We can look out a little bit farther. That's when and then just pause. The person who talks first loses, right? And that's when they go, well, and they just hem on haw all over the place, and then they magically can make one of those dates work. They could never, ever, possibly ever in the history of ever make it work before that, and then they magically can make it work. It's really funny. Really, people just have commitment issues. But anyway, so what you want to do is at a party, a lot of times what I will do is do like, and I think this flyer is going to be a little rougher to do this with. So I don't know if this, I'll give you the idea. You don't necessarily use this right this second, but is I will demo something and say, here's something, but I don't want you to buy it tonight. And they'll go, like if I know Fridge Smart's coming on sale, there's not really anything in this flyer that does that, which is kind of a bummer. But there just really isn't. But usually there is. Like I would have in December before the Modular Mates came out, demoed the Modular Mates and said, I'm going to show you something. And this is why they're awesome. And done a whole 5-10 minute demo on the Modular Mates and said, I don't want anybody to buy these tonight. I already showed you what's on sale. I want you to buy this, this, and this that's on sale. And this is a great deal. That'll help your hostess. And then I want 2 or 3 of you guys to book a party tonight. And we're going to have Modular Mates. And everybody can come back to that party and buy these then. And what it does is it creates a sense of urgency for people to book parties. It already breeds an audience. You already have people ready to place orders. Like it's kind of a win all the way around. This is a little bit of a rough flyer to do that on. I'm hoping they come out with a bonus sale. So if there's a bonus sale that, that pops out, then you can kind of do stuff like that with that. But the booking in close is super, super important. It's super important right now. The other thing you can say is that a lot of times in the first week of a month, there's extra bonuses. So if I am booking a party right now and somebody's saying I can't possibly have a party until March, right? And I go, well, okay, Crystal, whatever, what you're going to try to do if they say there's no possible way I could do it in January, I just can't do it in January, let's just say. Right now, if I was at a party, I would be doing my best to say, let's have a party now, get you in by the end of, let's buy what's on sale right now. You have just enough time to get those modulars, put them in, and still have your party and fill the holes because you're not going to know exactly what you need in your pantry. So if you buy what's on sale right now, put all the modulars in your pantry, and you set your party date before January is over, then you'll still have time to get in on the deals and finish, right? You'll get to finish. Because right now, you can only do this for about another week or so, and then that little, I don't know what the word is for it, marketing sentence, doesn't work anymore because then there's not enough time to get the Tupperware here. But right now, I mean, this week, right now, I would, for a whole week, be like, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy the modulars you think you need, whatever, and we're going to book you in for the last couple days. Then your friends can come get their modulars and you can still fill your gaps, right? And then you can use your free and half price stuff to get Fridge Smart and Vent Server, whatever it is that you want, cookware, whatever you want for free and half price. You want to buy your modulars on sale because sale's way better. I would go back right now to anybody that's ever bought modulars from you. Anybody that has a new construction kitchen is going to love that new color. I'm just going to tell you from personal perspective. The first time since I've bought modulars, my modulars are navy blue lids, just to give you a little time work. I haven't really, yours are worse. I haven't really wanted to change them. Contemplated changing them to black, but I was kind of like, maybe. I like this new color. And I don't know if this new color is going to continue on ever. We have had several times now, just going to throw that out there, several times now where something has come out 1 month and then not ever come back out again. So I have not been told that it's going to, they did not tell us. So I am not holding information from you. I don't know. So I personally am seriously contemplating redoing all my lids in the new color because it's totally matching my new kitchen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I kind of dig this, right? And my friend Heather was over for the holidays and she pulled it out and goes, she's never wanted to change her lids either. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna need all these new lids. And she's like, you need to do a better job of showing me this stuff.
And this is the first time they've let you buy just the seals.
Yes, and this is the first time they've let us buy the seals on sale. So you can get the new color and on sale. Like, what a win. Yeah. So you all need to go back to everybody that's ever bought modulars from you or anybody you know that's modularized out. Maybe you even have a friend that doesn't need modulars because she has a million of them. Guaranteed she has hunter green, navy blue, powder pink, a little yellow because yellow was epic. Not really. I had it. Came in my starter kit. It was wicked awful because it wasn't even yellow. It was
orange wasn't
cute
much better.
yellow. They have some of them have a rainbow of colors, none of which are good, right? Because they're all functional. These new colors are beautiful. So I would highly recommend just going to them and saying, I don't know if you saw, and send a private message. I don't know if you saw these new colors, but we can just get lids. I know you have lots of modulars, but I was thinking of you when I saw these colors. They might have a party. You know what I mean? Your friends might want some too. Your friends maybe don't have modulars, so you can get you lids and you can get your, might as well get some free stuff out of the order. We can take an order if you want, but you might as well get some free stuff. So there's some big orders to be had this month, just in general. So don't be like, oh, they already have modulars. Yeah, so do I. And I'm going to buy lids. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's something beautiful about, I had one girl when Red came out at first, she redid her whole pantry in Red, and I got pictures and squeals and messages for 2 months about how fun it was for her to walk into her pantry for the first time in forever. Because it looks like you bought all new things. It feels fresh and it makes you happy, right? Why do we buy? People don't understand. I redid my That's a Bowls for the first time in forever when we had those teal ones. Mine were white with navy blue lids. Because I never had any particular reason to change them out, and I didn't love anything enough to change it. But the accent color in my kitchen is teal. And then I had to have them, right? Now every time I pull those bowls out, and you're gonna laugh and say it's not real, it's so real. Every time I pull the bowls out, I'm like, I love these colors. Every time. I've had these bowls for years and I've not given a hoot about what they were or not were. Every time I pull them out.
What'd you do with your old set?
They're sitting in my garage because I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants white bowls with baby blue lids. Maybe half of them don't have lids because I don't really know what the lids are. Because I never ever use the Botsable sets with lids. I don't take them anywhere. I just use them as mixing bowls.
So you don't store them, basically?
No, I don't put anything in the fridge in them. I just mix and make stuff and then throw it in the wall. And even if I'm taking a lot, I usually just don't put the lid on. I don't care. It's just different than other bowls where I keep the lids. Those ones I don't. So I really don't know where the lids are. I'm sure at one point they were in my garage somewhere. Who knows? So anyway, I'm just saying, don't underestimate the power of how happy things like that make you. And walking into your pantry with all new lids. I see Julie nodding because she's totally going to do it too. I can see it. I can feel it.
Blue.
See, you're like me. Blue doesn't really match anything anymore. It's fine, but it's but those new ones are so pretty. I probably need them. Yes.
I had a gal contact me randomly, and she's panicking because she's in France on vacation right now, but knows the modulars on sale. And the whole purpose of her contact was lids, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago before it came out. So I sent her the message, and she's freaking out because I'm not back from France yet, and I can't make an order.
Yeah, you can.
I'm like, calm down.
Why can't she make it? When did she come baake from France?
Today. She thought she was going to miss it.
She could message you an order.
It's fine.
She could just message you an order.
She's I had to count all my electricity.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm like, all right.
All right. Ask her if she wants to have a party and get some stuff free with her. Right? Because here's the thing. They're going to place the order either way. They're going to spend that money. But if you invite your friends over and we do all the modulars for everybody and look at everybody's, then you might get some free French Smart or Vent Serve or something else out of the deal. You're already going to buy the lids. Might as well get something free out of the deal. So, people go, oh, I never really thought about that because they don't. And you're like, I don't want to be pushy. If she wanted to have a party, she would tell me. Not necessarily. And she hasn't really thought of the full, like, she's going to spend that money anyway. I'm going to take your money anyway. Should we just get some free stuff too? Or at least try. Even if you have 3 friends there, there's 3 orders that you didn't have before, right? And for you as a business person, that's 3 chances at new parties and new business. Whereas 1 order is fantastic today, and there are all kinds of orders out there to be had. But if you can add some people to that, you could see their pearly whites. I always say, if I can see their pearly whites, I got a chance at another party, right? So that's what, I mean, you've got a lot of stuff available to you this month. This month is going to be huge. But when you book parties, I think your big focus needs to be off of every single party, book 2. Why do we want to book 2 parties off of every party? Yes? Yes?
Because the hostess needs her exclusives.
Because we want this to be a happy business. That's really why. And when your date book is full, it's a happy business. When it's empty, it's a struggle. Right? The easiest place to book parties is at a party, whether it's a Facebook party or a home party. Flat out, there is no place easier to book a party than at a party. So if you're not booking parties at your party, you're missing the best opportunity. It is way harder to do an event, to call people, to message people. I'm not saying that all those aren't great avenues, but it's a warm market in front of you. They came to hear about Tupperware. There's not 1,000 people walking by at the vendor event. You're hoping that 20 of them stop and talk to you about Tupperware. The room full of 10 people all came to hear about Tupperware. That's a warm market. You want to book parties in a warm market. So what do we want to do off of every single party? We want to book 2 parties, and we want to book them in close in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You guys with the Facebook parties have the ability to just start a party in 3 days or 5 days or whatever. You can start a party almost instantly. So don't hesitate with that. Just be very careful not to screw your host by just dance that line very carefully, because you'll upset people if you start a party and they save their whole modular May order for their party and don't buy anything on their friends' party. So sometimes you have to nicely tell people what party etiquette is. So, well, usually how this works is, and you just kind of say it like, so how this works is, you come to your friends' party and you buy some things that are on sale, and then you have your own party. Your friends will come to your party as well as your friends. You know, she'll get her free and half price stuff. You'll get your free and half price stuff. But you have to kind of tell them, because they come up to me at a party and go, so I'm going to have my own party, so I don't need to order anything, right? That's awkward. I'm like, well, usually how it works is, and you just say it like that. Usually how it works is, you buy what's on sale, you buy some stuff that's on sale so that your friend, and you always say so that it's not you're taking the onus off of you, so that your friend gets her free and half price stuff. And then you have a party, invite your friends. Your friend will usually come back and support you as well. And then they'll buy things so you can get your free and half price stuff. And then your friends will have parties and you'll go visit them. That's how the party kind of thing works. And it's usually just somebody who's not educated on how parties go. So they're not trying to be rude, usually. I mean, there's always the anomaly, right? Now, if they literally don't have 2 dimes to rub together and that's why they're having a party, that's a different scenario. Those people don't usually walk up and announce that, though. They don't usually walk up and say, so I'm having my own party, so I'm not going to order. They just quietly book a party and don't say anything because they're embarrassed. They don't want to announce that they don't have any money to spend. So usually it's the person that announces it that just is missing a little party social skill. So you got to train them because their mama didn't, right? So it is what it is. Some people just don't know that that's how parties work, right? You're like, so when you leave your $100 order on the table, your poor friend who just had everybody over is not going to get anything, and that's not cool. So let's see, what else was I going to tell you guys? Is there any questions about that? Is there any struggles that you're hitting with any of that you want to talk about real quick? Any questions you want me to answer? No? Any objections to holding parties that you're getting right now that I might be able to answer? It's a new year. The best thing you can say to people when you're checking back with people that didn't have a party is, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you didn't have a party before. Now is like the best time ever to have a party. You're going to be so tickled that you're having it now. Did you want to do it? And then don't say, did you want to book a party? You say, did you want to do it on Tuesday or Thursday? Here's the 2 dates. People go, I don't know if I really want to have okay, I'll pick that one. But it's just funny. People respond to how you ask the question. If you say, did you want to have a party? Oh, no, I don't need to, right? If you say, I have Tuesday and Thursday open, which one did you want? Notice how the question is different. I'm not being pushy. I'm just asking a question. They
If they
said,
say, and they're gonna say no, they're gonna say no.
right, exactly. And they already told, the reason I'm checking back with them is they already had interest in a party. So this is already a warm, I'm checking back with them. Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's a really good response to this, but
Fantastic. Here, bring it up.
yeah. But I sent like 200 messages over the past 3 days to try and fill my calendar, and I've gotten about 40 no, not in January. Because apparently January is, I don't know, a special month, you can't have parties or something. But like, that's all they say.
So there is a good response to that, actually. So what you respond back to that, say, okay, we can totally have it in February if you want. I just didn't want you to miss out. There's about triple the hostess rewards in January right now. And in my experience, everybody is tired of all the crap that came in for Christmas. I mean, maybe don't use the word crap, but like, I'm just giving you the cursing version. You can like tone it down. But I'm tired. They're tired of the mess. They want to get organized and say, I'm actually finding that our biggest organizational system is on sale. What is it? 40%? What is it? 40% off. So our biggest organizational system is 40+% off, and we're having huge parties right now because people want to get organized and they want to kind of clear the clutter. There's too much came in over Christmas and they're ready to get it out and get it organized. So we're actually having huge parties, and I will totally wait till February if that's what you want, but I didn't want you to miss out. And end it with, I didn't want you to miss out. You know why? What does that trigger in the brain? I'm gonna miss something. No. What is it? Because nobody wants to miss out. That's like a woman's greatest fear. I don't care who she is. I don't care what personality type you are. As soon as you say, I didn't want you to miss out, I always go, I could have not even been listening. And I immediately go, I'm sorry, what was that? Because now I want to know what it is. Make sure I'm not actually missing out on something, right? So you can say so you want to make sure you answer them and don't just ignore them, because if you ignore what they say, not in January, if you don't respond to that, they'll say she didn't hear me. She wasn't listening. Say, that's okay. We can totally do your party in February if you'd rather. But I just didn't want you to miss out. There's a big, huge special going on in our best organizational system. It's 40+% off, and we're having huge parties. And in my experience, the parties are, in my experience, people are a little overwhelmed with stuff that came in over Christmas and they're ready to purge and organize in January. And so they're really loving these parties. So we can totally do, and then you go back to, we can totally do your party in February if you want, but I didn't want you to miss out on these deals in January. And then end it and just see what they say. Of those 40, I bet you get some positive responses back to that. Not all 40, some just won't. Because just that may just be some random excuse to just say I'm not going to party right now, maybe not ever, who knows, you know what I mean? But they had to say something, right? So, but actually that's a good question, because there is a very valid response to that. That's actually an easy one for me to respond to. The harder ones when they say like somebody died and you're like, oh, now I feel awful. Like, but honestly, even that sometimes, because you can't combat that, like I can't fix death, right? But sometimes it's the one positive, fun gathering that has nothing to do with anything sad in their world. And actually a Tupperware party is therapy. I had a host come up in tears and hug me at the end of a party, and I was like, she's like, I just love you. And I'm like, I just love you too. Why do we love today? Like, what, why? And she said, because for the first time in 6 months, I laughed and had fun with my friends and we didn't talk about my dad. And I was like, okay, now I'm gonna cry. She said I didn't ever think about Tupperware as being therapy, but this was so much fun because we laughed and talked about other things and it just felt normal, and nothing has felt normal for 6 months. And I mean, and I think that's legit. Like you don't think about that kind of stuff, but it's easy to so you see your said friend, the first thing they say is, I'm so sorry about your dad. Well, she doesn't want to talk about her dad. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's all revolving around the negative, and sometimes you just need something to talk about that is normal. And a Tupperware party is very normal, right? Prizes, fun, we're all laughing. Nobody's stopping and being like, her dad died, so we can't talk. We're just having fun. So is there anything else anybody's finding as far as booking parties this month that you're finding a hard time combating that you want a little help with? Because I would love to help you real quick. We have a couple minutes before we're done. No combating? Yes.
I just had a comment.
Oh, yeah.
I know from past history, like in January, because of like that reason, like I found that the easier you can make it on the host in January, like if you can promote, like, let's just have a bottle of wine and a few friends over and make it sound really easy, because most of us are entertaining during the holidays and have big get-togethers.
Right.
Sometimes the idea of a party seems more overwhelming, but if you can promote it more, like, let's just have a bottle of wine and
So for those of you online that didn't hear what Kim just said, she said what she's found is there's been a lot of people that have entertained over Christmas or whatever and had a lot of people. And so the thought of having people over sometimes is a bit overwhelming. So the easier you can make it sound like, instead of calling it a party, maybe just say, if you want to have a bottle of wine and a few friends over and we can look at the stuff and get your kitchen, get your pantry organized, the easier you make it sound, then the easier it is for them. And honestly, I will say this with all the love in my heart, but some of you have heard me say this before, but friends are God's apology for family. So sometimes a bottle of wine and a few friends is exactly what you need after Christmas. Like, and sometimes if you nicely kind of play to that, they're like, oh, you know, just having a few friends over would actually be super nice. Like it doesn't feel like work. It feels like, oh yes, I don't have, you know, crazy Uncle Fred and mom. And I don't mean that meanly, but you know what I'm talking about. We all have a little bit of the crazy, you know, in our family. And that can be exhausting. Family can be exhausting. Yes.
You have a typo on your 2019 schedule that just posted.
Fantastic.
So is that like if I get onto this computer, is that something I can fix? Or just have to
Where's the typo?
in the picture?
Yeah, no, because you'd have to get in Canva from my laptop at home. She'll just message me about it. I'll fix it. It's not a functional error though, is it?
Oh, the date is wrong. You did February 1st, it's March 1st.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fantastic. All right.
I didn't find it.
Yeah, no, that's what I get for doing things at midnight, sleep. Well, because here's why, just so you know, there's a typo on the date thing I just posted. And I'll talk about this in just a second. I did February and I first did I did all the dates and then I was like, that's redundant. So I went in and took it back out again, but didn't realize that the February date ends anyway. It created a problem. So next thing, unless there's anybody else that wants to talk about an objection that you want me to solve. I'm really good at solving objections. I just don't take no for an answer. Yeah.
Question about changes, the new changes. Can we talk about that or not?
The month end?
No, that was good.
Oh, that's what I was about to talk about.
Like the 200 thing, because when you go on and submit a party right now, it still says 170.
Yeah, I think January 12th is when they said it would change over.
Okay, what
Yeah.
about the new fundraiser?
The fundraiser was extended until the new
February.
fundraiser doesn't start until February.
Oh.
Yeah. So the fundraiser, the current February, here's the thing about the fundraisers. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It's always a cluster every single year. Supposedly we have two of them and each one, two, and they last 6 months each. I can't remember in the history of ever when they really actually lined that up accurately. It's always one's stopping early because they're running out of product or one's being extended. And the logic of the fundraiser flyer is way beyond me. So I would love to tell you that it's an organized machine, and it is not. This fundraiser flyer was supposed to end at the end of December, and they're extending it to February. Why? God only knows. They probably have lots of inventory of things still or something. Who knows? But it lasts till February. If you'd like to know why, you would have to get into marketing's head, and that is a scary place to live. I would never go there. And the marketing department has been swapping out. We've had some new people, and every time there's somebody new, it's like they think they know everything, and they try to make changes, and we get new, and we always go, just go hold a couple parties, you'll understand our life. And apparently there's another new one coming, so God bless America. Like, yay. I go to meetings and I go, like, why don't you just ask the sales force? Just call up and ask. I could have actually told you this was going to happen. Like, 5-minute phone call, and I could have solved all your problems. I'm supposedly on the council. We haven't had one meeting all year, so clearly they don't really want to know what we have to say. But let's see. So they decided, this is marketing again, God bless America. They decided that they're going to change 2 of our month ends to not really be the 4th Friday of the month. I will tell you their logic. I can't say that it sounds, but I will tell you their logic. I believe in systems. So I believe in things that are systematic because I think that we don't have mess ups and we don't have scripts, but it's always the same thing and you know what to expect. They decided that May in 2019 was going to be a 5-week month, and so was February. February doesn't fit their logic, but May does. They decided to March 1st. So they changed and made February the 5-week month and June the 5-week month instead of May and they decided that the flow was better. I mean, listen, I heard their logic and I just got the giggles. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. We had a new person and now we have another new person. So who knows? They'll probably change it back. The rub is it doesn't match any of the calendars that they sent out to you. So that's fantastic. So I posted, except for that I have a typo on it, so I have to go fix it. 'Cause that's awesome too. I posted the month end so you guys have it. You'll just have to reference it. I'll try my hardest and I will beg the directors to try their hardest to talk about it when it's the month of. It's February and May. That's the two changes, February and May.
So when is the February?
March 1st is the last day of the month.
Oh.
They made it a 5-week month and it wasn't. It should have ended the week before.
Right.
So they took a week out of March and put it into February because they decided that was better.
All right.
I think it's because February as a whole isn't necessarily one of our big months and they were trying to make February bigger. And March last year was one of our biggest months of the year. So I think what they were trying to do is even the months out a little bit.
Make it more consistent.
I mean, leave us alone.
And it's not the last Friday of the month.
I mean, there's some months that are just 5 weeks, but I think
Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll send out some promotion,
Hi,
some kind of
Ree.
thing that will
Has it always
always.
been the last
we're so
Friday of the
glad
month
we-
forever?
it's been the last Friday of the month for like 12 years. So thank you for messing with our
Maybe we'll get
system.
like canister sales or something.
I
and
mean,
it'll
maybe.
Give us an extra day.
I think they decided, because when you have 5 weeks, it's always 1 week it's gravy.
Right.
And they decided that we needed gravy more in February than we needed it in March, I think is really it. And the same with, we needed it more in June than we needed it in May, because May's birthday month. So I think that they honestly just think they know better. And I'm like, just don't mess with us, leave us alone, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. The trouble is that you just have to pay attention because your brain is going to think it's month end when it's not. Or not think it's month end when it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so just pay attention, I guess, and be heightened alert. If it's the end of the month and you're not sure and you remember that I talked about something, go find the post and make sure, or ask me or ask somebody, is this month end? Again, just make sure, because what I don't want is you thinking you have a whole nother week when you don't. That's my biggest fear. I don't care about the weeks where we have extra. What I care about is when you thought that you had a whole nother week to hit your goals and you were pacing toward it, and then I have tears and drama and crying and fussing, and you know how much I love fussing and crying and drama, right? It's my fave. Okay, so there's that change. The other changes are there is a party minimum is now not 175, it's 200, but the system hasn't fully changed over. Yes, it's really changed into 200. I think they said January 12th was when the system would actually change. I think they're giving a little grace for parties to close from the old system that maybe accidentally got held over. Plus, they're giving us a little bit of time to notify you also that we don't have as much freaking out. I think is really probably more the thing that's happening. So it's a little bit of adjustment time period, but it will change. So party minimum is really 200. Tupper Connect minimum is 200 too. So you have to have 200 in paper orders in order for the online orders of a Tupper Connect to connect. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, search the team page for Tupper Connect. Not how they work is all there, but you just have to have at least 200 in paper orders in that scenario. Yes, your party pool does work for that. If you want to use 70 of your party pool toward that, you can. I'm not saying that out loud because you didn't hear that from me, but it will actually
You
functionally
had like
work.
$6,000 in party pool.
I have like 25 grand.
Did you really?
Wow. Because
Buy
I,
a
just,
sample or two.
I buy samples every month and I
Right.
don't use it. Yeah.
So I saw also that the January brochure doesn't have a tear off. Is that going to be the norm?
God only knows. Like
That would be nice.
I would prefer that. to have-
honestly,
Yeah.
they have done that before where we didn't have tear-offs, and what they did was they just put paper printout flyers for us. And so instead we had a bonus week of flyers, which is basically what the tear-off would have been. I don't know. Honestly, I would love to tell you all the answers to marketing's new thoughts, but we have nobody running marketing right now, so it's fantastic.
So what's the rationale for making the party minimum 200?
Oh, I can tell you that that's the rash. Everything's going to go up. All of your minimums are going to go up. This is the first phase. Here's why. Here's why. The cost of living has gone up, and they haven't upped things in a really, really long time. So if anybody gets angry about it, you and I are going to have a little chat, because milk has gone up in the last 10 years. Shipping has gone up in the last 10 years. It cost me $6.35 to priority mail a flat rate envelope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Those used to be
you get
$3.95.
$63 worth of Tupperware shit for that. Like, I promise you it cost them more than $6.35. You see what I'm saying? Like, So they're eating costs. I know they do bulk shipping and all that, but they're eating costs, okay? And at a certain point, they can't continue to eat costs. They have to figure out how, right? And it's like minimum wage. The party minimum going up is like minimum wage going up. They're just they pay out when they send a free gift, they pay out. There's a cost. So they're basically moving the cost up. Here's what you can expect to have happen. You can expect the party host credits to change eventually. So from 500 to maybe 550 or something, like those kind of levels, you can expect those. What I would like is I'd like a 5 or 500. I'd like a 750 and 1,000. I'd like one in the middle. That's just my humble opinion. I have voiced that. I will continue to voice that because I'm loud and proud. Heck, I'm like, listen, give them, because if you have a $600 party, 1,000 seems too far, but 750 doesn't, and I could push them to 750 where I don't know that I can always push them to 1,000. So that's my 2 cents, and I will continue to talk until somebody listens. Yeah.
I noticed last night, if you look at the host bonus list, they've now made it that you get a higher percentage when you actually have bookings. It used to say the same percentage all the way across, no matter how many bookings.
I'll have to
you
go
had.
look at it again.
Do you expect
But
the
I heard about it. I haven't paid a lot of attention to it, to be totally honest, because they talked about it several times to us when it was in development, and it was all changing constantly. And I have a tendency to tune them out until it's really done. And when it's changing all the time, I'm like, why are we talking about this? You're not even like, this isn't even going to be what it is. And so I just ignore them because they talk about a lot of things to me. And I don't really listen because I'm like, yeah, you're going to change it 62 times between now and when you actually launch it. I'll read it when you're done. Like I got things to do that matter. So I'm just, so I'll go look and see. I haven't really looked at it. What are you
do
going
you
to say?
expect the co-pays to go up for the things we earn? Because I know that
No, that
that's
actually went down.
well,
was
we
like
used to not
$5.
have- Well, we used to not have a copay, and it
Right.
was $175. Now it's $2.
They used to not
with a
let-
$5.
They used to not let, so when we got the copay, that's when they let people with the Confident Start program play. And I will take that $5 anytime to let
Right,
everybody play. And
right.
you all should, even if you're not in the Confident Start program, should take that $5 anytime because that's your new people, and you need your new people to grow, and you need your new people to get excited. And when they couldn't play, so they used to not be able to play in any of the weekly things at all. All I got was fuss, like so much fuss because they couldn't play in any of the stuff because they got to play in the Confident Start. So the only way they could make it so they could play too was to charge a copay. And by charging everybody the $5 or whatever it was, everybody got to play.
Oh,
There's still a few things they can't play in, but it's just a few.
Mhm.
It used to be everything.
Right.
So I don't expect the copay necessarily to change because I think that they're covering their cost. They can
Right,
kind of cover their
okay.
costs with that. That's how we got that. So I'm totally
Oh,
okay with that copay because it was a win for everybody. Because when you're building your business, you don't need fussy new consultants. It's not awesome. Even though they were playing in this amazing program, they couldn't, how people, they only see that they're missing out.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So I don't foresee that necessarily. I do see director minimums going up. I don't know when, but I would guarantee you almost that it's going to go from 10 to 12.5. I just don't. They've talked to us about it a couple times now, so it's coming. But
Does that mean the
it's the same. It's like minimum wage. Things they have to adjust it because they can't continue. When the cost of living goes up, that means all of their costs go up, which means that their costs are the same. They're still costing them the same, but we're getting, more, if that makes sense. It has to adjust. That's just life. And they haven't adjusted. They have eaten costs. They have not upped our prices of catalogs in years. They haven't adjusted anything. And so to just get a slight increase in shipping and a slight increase in the party minimum right now, we just all need to be very thankful that that's all it is so far. And the best thing you can do, guys, to be honest, is to sell the lights out of Tupperware because when more machines run at the factory, everything's cheaper. When 13 or more machines are running at the factory, it costs them less money. So all the promotions, because they still have the same people costs, light costs, almost they're a little bit more electricity, but not much. So almost all their costs remain the same, but they can kick out more Tupperware. Does that make sense? It's the breaking point is it's 12 machines is even, 13 machines is they're making money. And the more, and I think we have 15 or 16 machines. So the more machines that run on any given day, which is based on how much we sell. So the more we sell, the more we help our case, the less things will go up in price because they have more money. And when they have more money, when we're making more profit, they don't have to raise the cost of things. So the answer to everything is sell more Tupperware. I know that sounds funny, but honestly, and put your parties up in there because they base inventory. So they're not making right now on the factory lines, they're not making modular mates. They made those several months ago. They're now making what the next flyer and the next flyer needs before we actually sell it. But they're basing how many they make on what our parties up say. And if we don't fill in our parties up, then they're guessing on inaccurate data. And then they run out. And when they run out, they have to stop the machine. They have to take whatever they're making, which is tomorrow's Tupperware, off. They have to put, and then how much did they tell us? Do you remember it was $20,000 every time they stopped the machine? I think it's something like $20,000 every time they stop the machine and put a different folder and have to restart it and kick out all the back orders. So I know it was really, look, going to the factory when they launch Hemingway, which they should launch next month, do your best to earn it because it's so interesting. Because when I understand that, it makes everything, because in your mind, you're like, well, they can just make more. Why can't they just make more? Well, they can. However, if we do our part, then we don't have back order problems and we don't have production issues if we give them good information. But a lot of you guys don't put any parties up, and you have 7 parties up and you put 0. Well, they don't know that. They have no idea. They may guess, okay, we think that there's 20% more than what people put in. Well, they're just guessing, right? And then they base that on what the stats were based on what was put in last month. Well, if we recruit 400 new people and 400 new people don't put their stats in, then we Rock On alone can skew stats. I'm just gonna say, we are a force to be reckoned with. We can break the systems. We've done it, trust me, lots of times. So we have the ability just alone to mess up their data. Which is kind of funny. Anyway, so there's the party minimum that's going up. The what else is changing? Shipping went up just ever so slightly. It really didn't go up that bad.
It only went up for 50
Yeah.
cents for small orders.
Really not. I mean, in all. And the best thing you can do, and I know I posted this, but I'm going to say it out loud, is not make a big deal about it. So many people are like, I'm going to do a promotion. I'm going to talk about it. I'm like, I wouldn't. Because
They don't know.
probably your next customer isn't even paying any attention. You just say, here's your total, and it has their shipping. And if you don't point out it went up 50 cents more than it was before, they're probably not going to notice. But if you make a big deal about it, they will most definitely notice. What I learned, state to state, every law is different. Washington State taxes the shipping. God bless America. If you don't like that, talk to your governor, or whatever. Like, they tax the shipping. I think that's taxation without representation personally, but I don't get to run the government. And so I feel like we shouldn't be taxing shipping. It should only be taxing product. But Washington State is one of the greediest states that there is. So I love it here. It's beautiful. Like Idaho does not tax the shipping. So if you go in and place an order in Idaho, they don't. It's state to state. And all Tupperware can do is abide by the law. So when you go put in the address of the host, it puts in said laws. So you can like it or not like it, and you can call Tupperware and be mad, but Tupperware doesn't really care because all they're doing is abiding by the law. But I don't point out, I had several instances of really, really, really ticked off customers at home parties because I was doing, so if you look at our order form, it says subtotal, then it says shipping, then it says subtotal again, then it says tax, and then it says total. That's what the order form says. Yes?
I've actually shipped things that have come to me instead of to my customers, because when you go back in and change something, you actually have to change, it switches back to, anyway, to deliver to the consultant. But it costs me almost double or triple to ship it than it does for them to pay for the.
Oh, direct shipping is, way a good thing. So what I started doing was, but I had people notice that I put the $80. Okay, so let's just say I did $80 for the subtotal. Then I put $8 shipping, and then I put 88 because that's the next subtotal. Then I did tax, the amount, and then I put a total. And they said, hold on. And if you write it all in like that, somebody goes, hold on. So 80, are they taxing the shipping? Because it kind of points it out when you fill that in. And then I have to sit here and have this horrible awkward, and then they're pissed. And this one lady was just like out of her mind over 37 cents. And I'm like, I'm literally like, I'm sitting in a $3 million home. The kids are all playing in the swimming pool. I don't give a rip about your 37 cents. I said, can I just pay the 37 cents so we can be done talking? Well, I don't want you to pay it either. Well, somebody has to pay it. So so I'm like, literally, can we just stop talking about it? Oh no. Well, finally, she was just hot. I was like, oh my gosh. So what I stopped right after that party, I stopped writing in the second total. Now I have $80, and then I put the $8 shipping, and I know it's 88 and I take 88 and I times it times the tax. I don't write the 88 in, I just ignore that column. I have not had one complaint, not even one complaint since I just stopped writing that in.
The second.
All that happened is they're just not noticing that I'm taxing the shipping. It really doesn't change their order but a whopping 50, 75, $1. Nothing, to be honest. And if they have $100 at Tupperware, the buck isn't going to kill them. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not me, it's not my fault. So the reason why I'm telling you that is I would not point out that the shipping's gone up just a little bit, because if you point it out, you're going to have this 37-cent person flipping out on you, right? Just here's your total, and you just has your subtotal, your tax, your shipping, like whatever. You're just like anything else. Just don't talk about it. I'm not saying if they don't ask you, don't answer the question. Be truthful, of course. Just don't point it out. Like you can go ahead and do that if you want, but I'm just telling you, you're gonna have grief, and it's not gonna be fun. So I'm trying to save you from my personal pain that I have already experienced. I'm trying to save that for you. Yes.
So I screenshot the order screen and you send people as a receipt. It is all there. No one has said one word.
That's
So if
what I
it's
do.
being taxed,
For the
they
receipt.
don't pay attention. All they care is the bottom line.
I think it was also in the writing out of it, kind of, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That it was the subtotal, and it also has a line for food tax. Have you seen that one?
So for like our
Well,
spices.
right.
which
Okay.
we
Well, A,
don't
we don't
even
have
have.
spices anymore. And B, I always just said, so if they ever ask me like, so why does it have those other totals? And I'm like, oh, that's for other states that tax food. And I just ignore it. We don't have that in Washington. And I just like say something like that and move on. They go,
Right,
oh, okay.
change
And they don't
that
really
too.
care. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just pointing out there's some changes that I'm trying to help you have less pain in the changes, because pain's super fun. Not. Okay, so any other changes we need to address? I can't remember. Yeah.
With the date change or the flyer dates,
The flyer dates are all the same.
okay, so the dates in the date books where it says you can order samples now or you can order new flyers now, those will be right?
Maybe.
Oh.
Who knows? Sometimes you can't order them if you're supposed to order them because they don't have the inventory ready. I mean, like, who knows?
Yeah.
That would be
Well,
a
sometimes they
marketing
don't even
perk.
put the list up when it's actually open.
Yeah.
Will that
Don't get
affect-
me started.
Will that affect
You know those meetings that I have to go sit in? Yeah, they're fantastic.
Will that affect our meeting dates, if the dates of the end of the month change? Or?
Yes. So I usually try to have team meeting, pending my travel schedule and life. I usually try to have it. Mine usually happens a week after month end. So if month end is on a Friday at midnight, Stephanie usually has hers that next day on Saturday, and I usually have mine the week after, right? So usually whatever month end is, then I have mine the week after, because I'm walking in sideways if I have it the next day. I'm just telling you right now. I'm good to know, buddy. I've had like 2 hours of sleep and I'm talking in backward sentences. So yeah, I usually do that. So yeah, it will impact meeting dates.
So it won't always be around the first of the month.
Well, I mean, ish.
It's only for the 2 months out of the year.
It usually, yeah, it you know, anyway. And then who knows,
Do you
sometimes it
know
can't.
what February's is? That's right.
No, because we are at Summit when
That's
team meetings should
That's why I
be.
was asking.
Mhm.
Do you
No, I was actually looking at that last night and going, we're at Summit, and then I think I have it in California with my daughter the next, like, there's a mess. So I gotta figure that out. I don't know. The short answer is I don't know. Like,
It's good to be flexible.
yes, it's good to be flexible. Okay, so any questions about any of that? Yes? All right. So that's all that I had to show you guys as far as training goes. There's a couple things I want to let you guys know about. I can't tell you the February date because I don't know it. For those that are online and those in the room, I have a few more Fall Fest packs. So if anybody wanted a Fall Fest pack, I have some here. So if you didn't get one, I want one or want another one. Those that are not here, I have probably not at my house, but at Janelle's house, because long story. I have some that I can ship out. I probably have maybe 25 of them. So if you sent me a message about it and I didn't respond, just ping me again. Facebook has been doing evil things in my message box. And like messages I don't see them. And then I'll go to message that person and then see that there's like 3 I missed. I'm like, fantastic. I really wasn't ignoring you. So if I don't respond to you, I'm not ignoring you. I didn't see it. I don't know what Facebook's deal is, but they hate me. And so I have some of those here for those that are here, and I have some for those that are online. So send me a direct message and say, I'd like a Fall Fest pack. Here's my address. I'll calculate shipping for you. I think that is all of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today. I will go ahead and have Stephanie post an AHA post for me on the team page, and
I'm gonna post it from your account. So
you can.
like,
No, but I'm just saying, don't say Stephanie's gonna post it.
Oh,
'cause-
I will post an aha post. I will do drawings. So post the 3 things you learned today or the 3 things that you had an aha about, and we will we'll do drawings for those of you that are online. We'll do one last round of drawings for those drawings. So you tell me 2 more winners as well, real quick, that are online, and then I'll do the final drawings for here.
Mahal Flores.
Mahal Flores. Yay, you're a winner.
Michelle Bressie.
Say it again.
Michelle Bressie.
Michelle Bressie, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. Send Stephanie Meester a direct message with your address if you just heard me say that and you are the winner. And on Facebook, send her a direct message on Facebook and with your address, and then I will pop some prizes in the mail to you. So that is all I have for you guys today. I'm super excited to see what you do for January. I can't wait to see you post your goals so we can see what the year is going to look like. Love you guys. I will see you later.